and this really is a welcome back because I think I am repeating a recipe for you. Now, most of you know that I've been writing a cookbook for a very long time, but what some of you don't know is that I cook a lot by sight and taste and a little of this and a little of that. So one of the hardest things has been about preparing this cookbook is the actual measurements. So a lot of recipes that I normally would never redo as much as I have is because I'm testing and checking out the recipe for proportional representation rather than my personal taste buds. So I have a good friend coming over for dinner tomorrow and I don't want to be in the kitchen, so I am making MoWino's red wine chili. So officially cheers with a beautiful Spanish Tempranillo. When I put wine in sauces, I like to use wines that have a punch of spice. Tempranillos, Grenaches, Malbecs, they all are great wines to use with your chili that will stand up to the acidic potency of the tomato sauce. So this is a lovely Tempranillo. So you've seen the ingredient board. Now what you didn't see, or what you'll deduce, is that I have a little bit of craziness to my chopping. So I want the flavor component of my carrots and celery and garlic, but I do not want them to be considered major parts or aspects of the chili. But what I do like is I like the chopped onion, I like the green pepper, and I like the jalapeno, knowing they're in that bite when you have that savory spoonful of goodness. I want to know that that's there, so I like to see it besides just taste it. So I have rough chopped my green pepper, my onion, and my jalapeno, and I have put in the food processor to get into a more minced consistency my garlic cloves, my celery, and my carrots. And for those of you who are faithful viewers, you know that I have a 4-3-2-1 basis for most of my sauces, and that is 4 cloves of garlic, 3 carrot sticks, 2 stalks of celery, and 1 onion. So I stayed truthful to this, but I have now added in my green pepper and my jalapeno. So what I'm going to do is put this in the slow cooker because I want my kitchen nice and clean for when my guests arrive. So we're going to slow cook this chili over a long period of time on low. Now, if you don't want to make this in the slow cooker, it's easy to make this on top of the stove. And in doing that, I will saute all of these vegetables before I mixed it together. Unlike the slow cooker, I'm just putting all of these vegetables in, these fabulous flavor components, raw. Look at these slippery little suckers that came out. So I'm just going to give a little stir here so they're all incorporated. I'm going to get my slow cooker going. I put it on high. I like the temperature to come up so I know that it's going before I move it to low. I have 2 cans of red kidney beans. Now normally I buy low sodium. If it's a canned product, I always buy low sodium or no salt added. This time I changed things up because the product, Goya, has a special simmering sauce that they make with a lot of their beans. And this one specifically spoke to me because it's made with olive oil, pimenton, and tomato sauce. So I just thought that would be a great component to my chili. I have 2 cans of chopped tomatoes. Again, I use a component of diced tomatoes that has green chilies already mixed in it because I thought that would give a good flavor. Good stir. So I'm making a lot of chili. So I have 2 pounds of bison meat that I have cooked on top of the stove, got them pretty much well done, but not completely. If I was going to make this to eat off the top of the stove, they would definitely get it more crispy. So this is soft sauteed bison meat that I have drained the extra oil out, and now I'm adding, and 2 pounds equals about 4 cups. Again, I'm going to just get it all mixing here. This is the MoWino spice blend for her chili. Secret, you have to get the cookbook to get it. Oh, the spices are hitting me in the face. It's gonna be good. A cup of my Tempranillo, which I am going to pour a little here in my jar, my can. Put this in the can, go like this, getting all that residual tomato pimentum taste. This is just something that I do when I use a can. I kind of make sure I get all the spices out of it with my wine. So you've seen me do this before. I remember I was doing this years ago in someone's house and they thought I was nuts, but then they called me up or emailed me and said, I now do that every time and clean out my cans. I don't miss one drop. So this is a half a can of wine with all of the flavor components of the beans and the tomato. The other half cup of wine. So we have 1 cup of our Tempranillo. This is where you start to have to look and judge by your eye. When we put the lid on, the condensation of the slow cooker is going to create some of its own liquid, and it's not going to cook out like it would normally on the stove. So all of this meat and beans and veggies is nicely damp, but I do need some more liquid. So I can either add more wine, or what I like to do is take a can, fill it up with water, and add just 1 can. Or a broth if I have some beef broth or really vegetable, any broth will do. But 1 can I start with. I see how it looks, and based on my own preference, because some people like their soup, their chili really nice and thick, and some like it with more broth, depending on how you're going to use it, because we're going to have chili for dinner with all the fixings, and then leftovers is going to be taco salads and burritos and things like that. So I'm going to add 1 can of water, because I used my broth already today, and then I'm going to put the lid on, forget it for several hours. It's going to be delish, trust me. The spice mixture that I use, the wine, delish. Wish you were here to try it. Live life, taste life.